Hey everybody, Joe here. Another video today, this one on dehydrating cauliflower. My local grocery store had a really good sale on the other day. I got 3 heads of cauliflower, less than $2 a head. Around here, that's a pretty good price. I've got my cutting board. I make these outside in the wood shop. Knife. A double pot here for blanching. And my 5-tray dehydrator. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut them all up into small little bits, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. We're going to load them into a pot of boiling water, blanch them for about 3 or 4 minutes, then drain that, put them into a sink full of ice cold water. That'll stop the cooking process, and then we'll get the trays all loaded up, and we'll go from there. Now you probably don't want to watch me cut all this cauliflower into little bits, so I'll be right back when that part is done. Okay, and I'm back. I've got 2 of the 3 cauliflowers cut up. I'll do the other one later. And so far this is 4 cups or 1 liter here of chopped cauliflower. And there's another 8 cups here. So we've got 3 liters. That's probably going to be close to enough to do 2 full batches. So I'm going to get the first batch going. I'll chop that up later. You probably won't see me doing that. But over the course of the next 2 days, I'm going to be actually doing 2 batches. You'll see 1 batch, but I'm actually going to get 2 batches done. A lot of cauliflower, so we'll get that done. Water is almost boiling. Once that's boiling nice and hard, dump some cauliflower in, let it go for 3 to 4 minutes, drain it, and put it in an ice bath. I'll get that ready next. Okay, and we're back. So we got the water at a hard boil now. I'm going to pop this lid up. It's going to take about 2 rounds to get all this blanched. We'll put about half in now, half after. Give that a little stir. Put the lid back on. Once it comes to a hard boil again, I'll wait 3 to 4 minutes, turn it off, drain it. By then I'll have a sink full of ice cold water. I've got ice packs in the freezer. Start filling the sink and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, and we're back. Gonna have a good hard boil for a few minutes now. Pop that lid off. Grab the other oven mitt. I've got a sink full of ice cold water here. Stainless steel colander to drain it afterwards. Pull this out, let this drain. I love this thing. Try and get all that water out of there. And now we're going to dump this right into the sink of cold water. Around a little bit. Drop an ice pack right in on top of it. That stops the cooking process. Pop this back in. And the second half. We'll let that go for a few minutes, and then that will go into the sink as well. Where's my lid? Little lid on it, Joe. Now you can do cauliflower, this blanching process, or you can do it without. If you don't blanch it first, it comes out just as good. It just turns a little bit pale in color, a little bit brownish. I do it both ways. This time I figured I'd do the blanching process just to get that in the video as well. But you can do it either way. Back in a bit. Okay, so the second half is just about ready to go into the sink. So we're going to take our colander, pull it out of the ice cold water, drain that. That stops the cooking process. We'll dump that back into our bowl. Just going to set this aside now. Actually, I'm going to put it back into the fridge for now, just to make sure it's completely cool. Over here, turn off the stove, and the same process as before. cool for a few minutes in the ice water. And then we're going to start loading up the 5 dehydrator trays and we'll start dehydrating. Alright, so we're back. So far I've got 4 trays loaded up. Give you a little look at that. Got them spaced out a little bit, you don't want them touching too much. Put on the last tray. And we'll load her up here. Grabbing a little bit from the other half. Let's finish up loading this tray. So like I say, these can be done blanched, which we're doing today, or you can do them without blanching. They just turn a little bit paler, a little bit brown, I should say. They come out just as good as far as nutrition goes. They taste just as good. They rehydrate well. I use these all the time throughout the year when I'm making a soup. Just toss a few in. They rehydrate as it's cooking up. I take them on backcountry camping trips, backpacking, canoe tripping, sea kayaking. Been doing it since 2004. Always comes out great. Got my machine set at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is probably going to take about 10 or 12 hours to fully dehydrate. They should be completely dry, crisp, brittle when they're done. And then I'll put them away for long-term storage. So let's get at it. And I'll be back when this is done. I'll rotate the trays out a few times during the dehydrating process to get that nice even dehydrating. And I'll be back when it's done to load it up and you can see the finished product. Back soon. Okay, and I'm back. So the dehydrator ran for about 10.5 to 11 hours, a little bit longer than I was guessing at first, but it's been really hot weather and kind of humid, so that slows it down, of course. Here's the finished product. I took a photo to that in as well, but I can tilt that up, give you a little bit of a look. What I'm going to do next is scoop it all into this bowl, and then in my funnel, get her into this little 500 milliliter mason jar. Now you don't want to watch me do all this, so I'm going to pause the camera and then I'll be right back and you'll see the end. And here we go. Just scooping up the last little bit, a couple strays that fell off. Here's what we have. Now earlier on I had cut up 2 large cauliflowers, figuring it was going to take 2 batches to do. And it will. This is basically 1 cauliflower. There you have it. That's the finished product. It's probably going to go into a bigger jar tomorrow after I do the second batch. I'll put it all into just a bigger jar and get that one filled right up. Next, here's the rest of the cauliflower that I chopped up yesterday. That's going on the dehydrator. And I've got another one here. I may even do a 3rd load tomorrow. So, to sum it up, we blanched the cauliflower after cutting it up into little bits. We did that in boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes after it hit boiling. And then we drained it, put it into a sink full of ice cold water, let it cool to stop the cooking process. Left it in there for a few minutes. Drained that, let it drip dry for a little while. Loaded it onto the dehydrator, 135 degrees. Rotated the trays around a few times through the process. Took about 10.5 to 11 hours. This stuff is fantastic just to toss in soups anytime throughout the year. I like to have 4 or 5 jars of this always in my food cellar. And mostly what I do it for, what got me into this years ago, is getting it for backcountry canoe trips, backpacking, that sort of thing. So it works out great. Shelf life, this will last for years, although I go through it a lot faster than that. But it's super fun, easy to do, good dehydrator, and you're good to go. Post any questions or comments down below in the comments section. Hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and there'll be a lot more videos coming soon. Talk to you soon.